the literacy rate in a country like the United States is 10% for people who are visually impaired, and it's less than 1% in India. And we were just shocked. That created one conversation, which became a research paper, which became a project, and so that was the genesis.
Tell me your 2 or 3 biggest struggles while scaling up.
So we actually went to a very extended period of no salaries. It's present in almost 260 plus connected learning centers in India, impacting north of 8,000 children in India.
Wow.
Globally, maybe another 2,000. So maybe around 10,000 students have access to this technology at this point.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of Let's Talk Scale. This is a show where we feature companies that have scaled in India across difficult sectors and extremely important sectors. Today we have Aman Srivastava from Thinkerbell Labs. How are you doing, Aman?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
You work in an extremely important sector. Some may call a social sector as well. Tell us a little about Thinkerbell Labs.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah.
So Thinkerbell Labs is a company which is working on the next generation of assistive tech. The first thing that we have created is the world's first foundational literacy tool for children with visual impairments.
Correct.
So this is a massive problem. The literacy rate in a country like the United States is 10% for people who are visually impaired, and it's 1%, less than 1% in India. So that's the problem that we are going after. Significant research has shown that more than 70% of employed visually impaired people are more likely to be braille literate.
Got it.
So that's how it got started. This is a research spin-off from BITS Goa.
Tell me the genesis of the thought, because it's not like entrepreneurs wake up every day and say, I want to tackle this extremely tough sector.
So genesis is actually, so our research was in human-computer interaction.
Got it.
And the idea that we were working on back then was, can we build technology that can help, a child who's visually impaired learn faster using audio plus tactile modalities. Me and my co-founders used to talk a lot about education.
Got it.
And at that point, we came across the braille literacy rate at some random study that we were doing. And we were just shocked. That created one conversation, which became a research paper, which became a project. And so that was the genesis.
I saw your product here, which is called Annie. Can you just show that product to our cameras and tell us a little about what makes this product different as compared to other solutions that may be there catering to the same market?
Sure. So Annie is the first audio tactile self-learning device for visually impaired children.
Yeah.
What makes it different is that it does not assume any learning from the child. It doesn't assume that you know alphabets. It just assumes that you can understand and comprehend one language.
Got it.
So that's how Annie works.
Correct.
It is available in 14 languages currently, inclusive of 3 English accents. And we literally focus on reading, writing, typing, and listening. So 4 foundational skills before they can move on and then use the ability to read to learn. So first it is learn to read, and then it's read to learn. So this is how Annie actually focuses on.
Got it. How is it different?
It's different because it allows for self-learning. It's completely connected as an ecosystem in the sense that when you look at the Coursera's of the world, YouTube, Khan Academy, great impact that they have had on education overall, right? On MOOCs.
Yeah.
But the whole MOOC revolution, they've left out a large segment of learners. And that has been because of, not just because of inaccessibility. Creating things, making them accessible as an afterthought does not, it doesn't close the loop. So what we have done is it's truly a device specifically tailored for the visually impaired child and also has the features that standard EdTech has.
Okay.
Yeah, so gamification, remote learning, self-learning, everything. So all of these aspects, we brought this first, because of which Annie became a category creator.
Got it.
And yeah, so that's the major defining factor for Annie, self-learning. And that has been missing for this entire segment for the longest time.
Yeah, that sounds like something which is a game changer. But tell me a little about the business model, right? What is the business model right now? How does it work?
So we sell directly to educational institutions.
Okay.
We sell to any agencies, non-profits, government agencies, departments who are working for education of visually impaired people.
Got it.
Or anybody who's working in inclusive education.
Got it.
The business proposition is quite straightforward. As shown by our first flagship project, which was in District Collectorate of Ranchi.
Yeah.
They basically saw that the kind of learning outcomes that they could achieve on Annie, they would have to spend 5 times more hiring and upskilling more teachers.
Yeah.
So that is the business proposition. It can help children learn more, do more with the same resources that are available.
Got it.
So it helps reduce the load of special educators. It helps reduce the load of administrators. So that's how we are that's the clear case for why somebody needs to buy it.
That's so interesting. So the model currently would be more a B2B model.
B2B and B2G, yes.
Yes. So B2B and B2G, which means business to business and business to government.
Yes.
So you sell to the institutions, which in turn give it to their students.
Absolutely.
Is there a B2C model, direct to consumer model available right now? Do you plan on doing it? Tell me a little about that.
We are piloting it out right now. Now it's a matter of time to figure out D2C.
Got it.
And because not just for learners who are young, but there are many. Actually, visual impairment happens a lot more after 50. So more than 60% of people who are visually impaired are over the age of 55.
Wow.
So that is a segment who has the money for it and who also wants to consume because a lot of people lose their sight later in life.
Got it.
So that's a segment we haven't really figured out globally or in India. We've been focused on early learning for now, but once we do, D2C will be to them.
You are building, I'm assuming, for India and for the world as well. Or do you want to first focus on India, then take this product to the world? Because I already see that you have some international customers and international traction as well.
So, no, Thinkerbell is already a global company.
Okay.
We are currently scaled up in 2 markets and we've launched in 6 more countries. The 2 markets which are at scale are India and the US. We have always sort of validated each problem globally when we solve it. Partly because if you look at the special education landscape, right, when you talk about teacher caseloads, it's high even in the US and UK. Especially for TVIs, which are teachers of visually impaired, the teaching caseloads are very high. So the same thing when we look at in India, the good teachers are very overloaded. The teachers who have a lot to improve upon, even those are everybody's overloaded basically. So we validated this in the UK, we validated this in the US, and we corroborated, okay, India has this problem, sure, maybe we are not training enough, but no, that's not the case. We are also training a lot of people, but still this is a problem. And then we distilled down that the problem was nothing to do with the number of teachers, it was more to do with the ancient pedagogy being used.
Wow.
And the pedagogy being used was 150 years old. Now, how many teachers are you going to train with the old pedagogy? If the pedagogy requires you to do 1:1 hand holding, you will always fall short of teachers. And then you keep continuously, protesting and say, oh no, that's where some technology needs to come in. That's where some change needs to happen. So that's where we came in. And that's why it's more of a global thing. Currently, we are roughly 50-50 with respect to global and India.
Wow.
India is also scaling very fast for us. Especially, there are many innovative, forward-thinking bureaucrats and politicians who want to, who are looking very favorably towards technology, especially from startups. So that has really helped Annie proliferate in India, almost at the similar scale it's proliferating in other countries.
That is so good to hear, right? Because I think one of the complaints we have in the Indian entrepreneurial system is that a lot of our products are not going global, right? So every time that I hear that you have a business where 50% of your customers are outside of India for a product company, right? That's very, very heartening for me to see. Tell me, in your international markets, is the model the same? Is the model to sell to the institutes and the government agencies, or is there a different business model outside of India?
Business model is slightly different.
Yeah.
We work with national level agencies or partners who then do the similar thing of selling to institutions and selling to other partners. But this national level agency, we so for example, in the US, we collaborated with American Printing House, and they helped us create a white label version called Poly, which then went to be on the Times list of best inventions in 2022. So Poly, so they helped us create Poly with the right content, the right curriculum, which is proper for children who are studying in the US.
Yeah.
And so it's always a value added partnership.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of partner we are looking for when we enter any geography.
Got it.
Those who can add value beyond distribution.
Correct. How is it different working in the India market versus the international market? Which one is easier? Is it easier to scale in India, or is it easier to scale internationally in your experience?
I think we would have given a very different answer a few years back.
Got it.
But considering things have changed here quite a bit, I would say it's roughly similar. This space overall moves much slower compared to most tech buyers. So even outside the country, they do 12 months trials, they do extensive field testing for 18 months and stuff. So Poly actually went through 18 months of testing before it got deployed. Yeah. So considering that, I feel it's roughly similar, or even it's slightly even easier to work in India.
Aman, is this the first of many products that you have, Annie? And if it is, tell me how you all are thinking about your other products. Do you want to cater to this same section, the same audience right now of visually impaired students to start with, or are you going to go beyond that?
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah.
So mostly we had been focused on this because we really wanted to get this right.
Yeah.
But now that it started scaling, it's present in almost 260 plus connected learning centers in India, and impacting north of 8,000 children in India.
Wow, man.
Globally, maybe another 2,000. So maybe around 10,000 students have access to this technology at this point.
Yeah.
And what our goal is, and one of the things that have been asked the most is, can I do my state syllabus on this, NCRT? And there are limitations.
Got it.
So what we have started working on is a next line of products which will cater to the needs of the children, 1 till K-12,
Yeah.
higher education and employability.
Oh,
So
lovely.
this is one short and medium term goal. I would say medium term, it will take at least 2 years to launch these products. But in our long term, the vision is to become an assistive tech powerhouse.
Yeah.
Start building products for auditory, neurocognition,
Got it.
Mobility,
Got
hearing. So basically going into and becoming more of a assistive tech player, and rather than just focus on one disability.
Correct.
So that's our overall goal.
Got it. I got goosebumps, genuinely. So simplify what you want to do next beyond the visually impaired and make it simple. What is your next line of products?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say there are many other special education needs.
Correct.
So there are learning disabilities.
Correct.
There is also speech developmental delays, in the sense that people need technological interventions to help them speak better.
Got it.
Then there are people who are from the deaf or hard of hearing community.
Correct.
They also need educational solutions.
Got it.
And so we've validated all of these.
Got it.
And these would be what would come next.
Correct.
One thing that everybody asks us is, they've kept on asking is, oh, have you built something for children who are on the autism spectrum?
Got it.
And now, like you said, it's not just technologically complex.
Yeah.
It is socially and behaviorally also very complex.
Yeah.
So we need to create something which would help. Let's say if we even want to get to a child who is on the autism spectrum, the first aspect is communication. So we will need to first solve that, and then we can solve education and so on.
Correct.
So we are still zeroing in on exact specifics.
Correct.
But one of the reasons why we want to build this is also business side reason. It's basically that when you look at special education needs, when you look at assistive tech, the buyer is often the same. There is no buyer specific to, I only buy for visually impaired and blind.
That's
the same buyer, whether it's in the US or UK, they're making these buying decisions for multiple different disabilities.
Got it.
So now that we've created relationships with these buyers, our goal would be to create other products and sell them to the same distribution channels. So that is why also there's a reasoning. So now I feel like this second innings of ours would be more distribution led and less product led.
Yeah. You and your co-founders have scaled this company. Tell me your 2 or 3 biggest struggles while scaling up. I'm sure you'll have many, many more, and that's why the smile. But what are the top few that come to your mind?
I would say the biggest was cash flow problems during the pandemic.
Okay.
I mean, everybody was struggling.
Yeah.
Public health, government budgets were, going towards, obviously, they were going towards fighting the pandemic. And there was this is point of time where all of us are just, we have so much uncertainty, and not just about cash flow, like the future of the product and everything. So finally and at that point what's happening is, because there is no other product which is self-learning or connected, we're getting more and more inquiries. So we actually went to a very extended period of no salaries.
Wow.
And kudos not just to the co-founders, but also to the team, the early team at that point, because everybody went through no salaries not because there's no money, but the money that was there had to be invested in working capital again and again. So we actually borrowed money from friends, family, everyone, whoever was giving at that point, invested in working capital because the inquiries had just kept on increasing. So we actually grew through COVID because it was the only solution left. So it was a very difficult period cash flow wise, but I'm very privileged that way that we could go through that period. Because I mean, if we weren't as privileged as we are, we would have had to, prioritize different things, but we were able to prioritize, we'll invest every penny in working capital, we'll create more units and actually be able to grow. So that was a very difficult period, but there are many such issues, like even like last 2 years we've been dealing with significant supply chain production challenges. It's something every hardware company, I guess, goes through. And we've been very transparent with our shareholders, with our learners, with our partners, okay, this is what we're going through. And mostly it's partly a matter of raising the right amount of capital, solving this. So that's what we are doing next.
Correct. Throw a little bit of light on hardware-related scaling problems that you have. And I'm asking you because this is not a typical consumer product.
So I would say the main challenge when it comes to hardware, especially manufacturing in India, is the upstream vendors whom you're buying from are often in the US or China.
Got it.
Right? You could make in India, you could assemble and do quality in India, but making in India is still a challenge.
Got it.
We need to be creating our own semiconductor chips. We need to creating our own actuators. Once we do vertical scale up, like companies like Thinkerbell need to be focused on main goal, but there needs to be other companies who are building the components which are required for devices like this.
Correct.
Because the components that are used in this are being used by others.
Correct.
So there are bigger businesses that could be built.
Correct.
That is always a challenge.
Got it.
Because when you work with China, global supply chain disruptions can affect you.
Got it.
When you work with the US also, any kind of global supply chain thing can affect you
Yeah.
very easily. The other thing is, like you said, because of being in a specific space, a lot of times our orders are lesser priority for the manufacturer and the supplier. So they will deprioritize you. They might just deprioritize you unless you go and go there and be like demand.
Correct.
So a lot of times, so unless we as a country start becoming more and more self-sufficient, these challenges will remain.
What advice would you have for founders like you who want to scale their ventures, who are operating in the education business or the EdTech business?
Advice, I would say, you have to stay patient. You have to prioritize integrity over everything else. Like, I can't believe I have to say this, but I feel like this is a strong amount of advice because to anybody, you need to prioritize the learner, you need to prioritize the customer rather than chasing growth at all costs. And that is the one thing I would advise everyone. Anything which is worth something, it takes time to build. It has a non-linear path to that tip of the summit is always a non-linear path. That is the advice I would give. Surprise, I would say, is this is obviously a hard-learned lesson because I myself is a very impatient individual.
Got it.
So,
Got it.
yeah. So surprise was, oh man, this is taking so much time. That is taking so much time.
Yeah.
And every aspect, whether it's product development or manufacturing or selling, everything can take amount of time which is basically unknown when you go into it for the first time.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised when somebody would get back to us and be like, oh no, we want to do a paid pilot for a year. Like, for a year? Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. What to do? But many times this happens that the technology is not at the level, or I would say that the validation or the proof is not there. So that does surprise you as the creator. You're like, oh man, I've created something which is definitely useful, right?
Yeah.
But no, people need to find their own proof. They need to find their own validation. They need to find their own conviction to use this.
Correct.
So sometimes it takes time.
Correct. The thing with, I guess, entrepreneurs is that we end up watching a lot of movies. We end up consuming a lot of content, which is entrepreneurial in nature. And in all those reels that we see and clips that we see of successful entrepreneurs, everything seems to happen very, very quickly.
Yeah.
When you watch a movie on an entrepreneur, they go from start to scaling up within 1.5 hours, right?
Yes.
Of the movie. So when we get into this, sometimes we have the wrong frameworks in mind in terms of how long something actually takes, right?
Yeah.
So I think patience as a lesson is one of the biggest ones that you can leave with any founder and their teams, right?
Yeah,
and their
absolutely.
teams as well. Because if anybody is going to join a startup, especially that is in an important cause like yours, I think they need to be very aware that this is not going to be an overnight hit,
Yes.
right? And very rarely is anything an overnight hit, but they need to know that they're there for the long haul. And if you are patient, eventually you will see the right kind of outcomes, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Aman, I'm genuinely extremely excited about the work that you're doing, right? I congratulate you and your co-founders. When I was reading on your company and now after interacting with you, I'm extremely inspired because you spoke about 10,000 students, 10,000 kids with visual impairment, and you had a tremendous impact on them. I hope the 1% that you spoke about in India that are getting that education goes to 10% very, very quickly.
Yes.
I hope that your company plays a very, very important part in it. I also know that you and your co-founders could have chosen to do multiple other things with your time and your life, but you'll have chosen an important path. I hope you'll stick to it. I hope you'll scale. And I hope when I meet you years down the line, you have scaled much, much bigger than you already have, both in India and outside of India.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
so
Pleasure.
much.